Ms. Bradford. Tonight, Policy 109, selection of resource materials, is up for approval. Many parents have major issues with the revision of this policy because it does not address the issues. There is a lack of actual guidelines listed within this new policy. Every statement is subjective, vague, and the selection of the criteria actually has no guidelines. Here are some examples. Each librarian will work collectively with oversight by the curriculum supervisor. Another one is evaluate the effectiveness of new resources. School librarians select relevant and age-appropriate books for students and staff in the school. All of these are subjective with no actual criteria listed. One statement that was actually removed from the original policy, which we actually found very interesting, was place principles above personal opinion and reason above prejudice in selecting material of the highest quality in order to ensure a comprehensive collection appropriate for the users. I would like to know why this was removed. This statement was replaced with, every student should have access to the educational resources and rigor they need at the right moment in their education. This sounds like the district is trying to cover themselves when it comes to very sexually explicit materials being available for underage students. Sexual acts is very clearly defined in PA law. We have put together a suggested proposal for the revision of Policy 109. Our suggestions are neutral. It is objective and lists very clear guidelines. This document will actually protect parental rights, student rights, and will also protect the district so you won't be open to litigation and criminal liability. How your policy is currently stated opens up the district, librarians, and anyone else who is involved in the approval process to legal criminal action. We are requesting that the board to table this approval of the revision of Policy 109 for the selection of resource materials. We are also requesting a meeting to present our proposed revisions to Policy 109, which clearly states specific guidelines and criteria for elementary, middle, and high school levels. Thank you.
Janine Meyer would be up after Deb Swagley.
Hi, good evening. I'm Deb Swagley. I'm from Upper Euclid, and best wishes on your retirement. Following up on what Tara just read, this is part of a suggested proposal for Section 109. Purpose: the board is aware that textbooks and supplementary materials in the district are to be used almost exclusively by minors. The board is also aware that options for materials available support and enrich the curriculum of the district are vast. However, there is only a finite amount of time to teach students, only a finite amount of space in the curriculum, and only a finite amount of money to purchase materials. As such, it is necessary that the district prioritize materials that enrich the curriculum and advance the pedagogical interest over material that may similarly enrich curriculum, but which also expose minor students to certain age-inappropriate content. Definitions. Sexual acts are defined as sexual intercourse as defined in 18 PACS 31013. And I will not go into the details of that, but you can read it. Under guidelines, sexualized content that falls short of material prohibited by criminal laws is nonetheless generally inappropriate and or unnecessary for minors in school. As such, the district will prioritize the inclusion of quality materials suitable for educational goals and worthwhile for the limited amount of time available to students that do not contain sexualized content. Thank you.
Tina Ayala would be up after.
Congratulations. I wish I was across the finish line. Janine Meyer from Upper Euclid Township. Just in furtherance of the last two that had spoken, obviously, I mean, there was reference made to criminality, Section 5903, of course. The district, among like 45 other districts, or states, actually enjoy sovereign immunity with respect to obscenity laws. So, but there's other avenues of liability that could be holding the district culpable. And I just wanted to read this just in furtherance of that. Schools can be liable under Title IX of the Federal Civil Rights Act for sexual harassment in the form of creating a hostile learning environment. The Department of Education states that Title IX prohibits sex-based harassment by peers, employees, or third parties that is sufficiently serious to deny or limit a student's ability to participate in or benefit from the recipient's education programs and activities. Sexual harassment is unwelcome conduct of sexual nature, such as unwelcome sexual advances, requests, sexual favors, and other verbal, nonverbal. Harassing conduct may take any forms, including verbal acts and name calling, etc., etc. Students who are exposed to a steady diet of sexual explicit materials are incapable of processing that conflict with the parental and community values, will be psychologically or arguably emotionally traumatized, as well as perhaps physically traumatized by fellow students or teachers. This drama could, create a very hostile learning environment. Correspondingly, the detrimental psychological effects violate the children exposed under 14th Entitlement of the Civil Rights Act. School districts have an obligation to provide information to the students entrusted in their care. When they abdicate that responsibility, they should be held liable in tort for violating the fundamental liberty interests of parents who expect students to educate and not harm their children. So in essence, I don't know how you square the circle.